bloating, gas, indigestion. These are some of the symptoms of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. With fibromyalgia, this is a common complaint that my patients share with me, is that they have the bloating, the gas. Sometimes they have loose bowel movements, sometimes constipation. They go back and forth. But irritable bowel syndrome is like fibromyalgia. It's a syndrome. It's made up of a group of symptoms that people have in common, and so we give it a name called irritable bowel syndrome. But irritable bowel, just like fibromyalgia, is just a name. It doesn't cause the symptoms. It only is used to describe the common symptoms that people have with that condition. In the case of irritable bowel syndrome, there's some key things that you can do that will oftentimes quickly eliminate irritable bowel. Now, there's three different kinds of irritable bowel. Irritable bowel A, where you go back and forth. So irritable bowel alternate, you go back and forth. Irritable bowel C, where you're constipated, and irritable bowel D, where you have diarrhea. And you can be any of those at any given time. But with irritable bowel, one of the best things that you can do, where you really need to start, is to make sure that you're taking a digestive enzyme. And you can get a digestive enzyme anywhere. You'll find it over the counter at any health food store, online. You'll find it in the Your Fibro store, my store. My patients who are working with me, either in the coaching program or working with me one-on-one, they all take a digestive enzyme, because if you're not digesting your food, you're going to find that you're more likely to have things like leaky gut syndrome, which can create inflammatory reactions in your body that can attack your soft tissue, your joints, your muscles, and can contribute to some of the achy pain that you have with fibromyalgia. Oftentimes, you're not going to be, because you're not digesting your food, you're not getting the nutrients that the body needs to make the hormones, to make the chemicals that your body needs to feel good. If you're not digesting your food, you run the risk of creating bacterial overgrowth, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which can give you some of that bloating, gas, stomach distension, and pain that so many of you complain with. If you're not digesting your food properly, oftentimes the intestinal tract is trying to get rid of the food as quickly as it can. And so it eliminates it with loose bowel movements, or it sits there because it's not being digested. So you're constipated, and you may have a bowel movement every 2 or 3 days. The problem with that is that food stuff, this waste stuff, is supposed to be eliminated on a daily basis. If it's not, it's sitting there in your colon, and the toxins that are sitting there have the potential to leak back in your body. So you want to get the bad stuff out as soon as you can, and ideally, that means that you're having a bowel movement every single day. Along with the digestive enzyme, to make sure you're breaking down your food and absorbing your food to help you to reduce the bloating, the gas, and the indigestion that's coming typically from the constipation. The second thing is you want to make sure you're taking plenty of magnesium. So in my Fibro formula, there's over 600 milligrams of magnesium, a special form of magnesium that's in there. Big reason is that magnesium is a natural muscle relaxer. So it relaxes the tight, achy muscles of fibromyalgia, but also relaxes your colon. And anytime you're constipated, it's a sign that you're deficient in magnesium. Magnesium is the anti-stress mineral. Anytime you get under stress, your body needs more magnesium. So you want it to, if you have constipation, you want to increase your magnesium level. If you're taking the Fibro formula, my Fibro formula, and you're still constipated, then add an additional 150 to 200 milligrams of magnesium citrate or chelate or glycinate. Keep adding that on a daily basis, and eventually you're going to have a normal bowel movement. If you get a loose bowel movement, then reduce your dose. So digestive enzyme, making sure you're getting plenty of magnesium. I recommend you taking a good multivitamin, because the digestive system and the elimination system need those nutrients to work correctly. My patients take the Fibro formula, as I mentioned earlier. 5-HTP, 5-hydroxytryptophan, is an over-the-counter amino acid that, when it's combined with the right combination of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, it makes serotonin. The higher your serotonin level, the less likely you are to have irritable bowel. You have more serotonin receptors in your intestinal tract than you do in your brain. So when you get nervous, you get butterflies in your stomach. But if you get depleted in serotonin, then what you find is that your body can't regulate the speed of your bowel movements. So if you're deficient in serotonin, which if you have fibromyalgia, you are, then you're going to see that you're more likely to have loose bowel movements. I recommend anybody with fibromyalgia start taking 5-hydroxytryptophan, 5-HTP, because as you start to take 5-HTP, that combined with the Fibro formula, that makes serotonin. And the higher your serotonin level, the higher your pain threshold, so you have less pain. The higher your serotonin level, the happier you are, less anxious you are, and the less likely you have to irritable bowel. So along with the digestive enzyme, a good multivitamin. Shit. Say it!